right, we good to go?
Yes.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Sorry for the awkward pause, but hope you enjoyed the waiting screen. Thank you, everybody, for being available for our already session 4 of the Red Storm Rising campaign and the adventure titled The Darkest Dream, that is designed, of course, by Gooey Cube, and it's presented by the Greater Mulmaster Beholder's Core. We always, as always, we hope your minds will be open to wonder tonight. We're excited to begin this adventure, and we hope all of you enjoy it as much as we do as we play tonight. So, as always, I introduce our players tonight. We have Theros being played by Zane, Fleegan being played by Mark. We have Kenna being played by Lee. And then Gror is the mighty Trey. And then, of course, Chris is Kember, the healer, because goodness knows we need that at times, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
All right. And I am Casey, better known as the emissary of the Great Mother. And I think tonight I will ask everybody again, do the eyes have it?
Aye.
All right. Well, tonight, darkness is behind us and terror is past. Carnivalle awaits. Familiarity at last. Aberration, shall we begin?
Yes.
Aye.
All right. Well, as we typically do, somebody, not Kenna, somebody, not Theros, who would like to give a summary of what happened the last time and maybe get a reward?
I would be happy to do that.
All right, Fleegan, tell us what we did the last time.
Where we left off, our brave heroes, they were standing outside a room of large spider eggs. After a much debate, it was decided that a lighted jug of Gror's best liqueur was to be thrown at the webbing. Theros was given this job and this firebomb, and his aim was true. The jug broke and flames spread everywhere, but alas, nothing was lighted.
Surprise! Haha! Psych.
Alas, the party had to do this the hard way. As Theros and Gror marched through smashing eggs, one particular egg burst open with a lot of baby spiders, having just hatched. I think they must have imprinted on Theros as mommy, because they swarmed him. Much spider squishing was done, and a strange sight was seen from to the east. The baby spiders called in a huge spider. We knew it was going to be the mother of all battles. And for those who don't know what that means, Google it. The mother of all battles with the mother of all spiders.
And she was a mother, wasn't she?
Tough one.
Yeah. Mighty blows were given between Theros and the Queen, but neither fell. It was up to the brave Quimber to finally finish off the beast. In exploring the Queen's chamber, they discovered a pentagram with 5 holes and 5 charms that fit in the holes. They matched the information from the skulls. Kenna showed much courage to solve the puzzle while the rest of the party waited in the hall.
Coward.
With a with rope tied around her so she didn't fall into the pit they suspected was below the dais.
I thought you guys thought the ceiling was going to fall down on her or something, but
Well, I
We thought
thought
both
ours was
was gonna
falling a
happen.
hole, but yeah.
well,
And then the ceiling would drop.
Yeah, we'll stop interrupting. You can finish your tale.
That's all right. I got 5-6 more pages of this.
Oh, jeez.
After
The dissertation. Skip to the end.
After the last pin was placed in the last hole, a ghostly figure appeared and spoke to the group. A necromancer. Congratulations, the group, on solving the puzzle, and offered the group to move on to the next part of the dungeon. After searching the room, they discovered the bags of coal that they were looking for, and since some Dama was looking pretty bad, they decided to return to Carnivalle.
Wise choice, Grasshopper.
Hmm.
Mhm.
There they discovered that Samdala was a rich, I hope, and famous, I hope, furniture salesman.
Better than a used car salesman.
Much.
What is that anyway? What?
The Blue Veil patched him up and sent him on his way as a friend. The party rested up over some bear sausage and a grand tale of Graxel, Theros' blade, was told.
Yeah, if you missed that in the last episode, go back. It is worth it.
Yeah, go watch it. Yes. 2 thumbs up.
Indeed. The party was instructed to go see the great Glassby, and having reached his tent, 2 large brutes were locked in a case of fisting each other. The great Glassby wants the heroes to throw these brutes out of Carnivalle. They proved wily and difficult, having to avoid blows and tackles from the company. One even laid a hand on Kenna.
Yeah, she punched me in the jaw.
It wasn't inappropriate. You stepped in his way.
And then kicked him in the jubblies.
Yeah.
Gore,
Sextons.
having seen this hideous act, or perhaps it was the loss of his precious liqueur, he used a famous dwarven art of choking people and brought one to his knees. Kenna, with steam coming out of her ears, took a running start and kicked the brute who hit her in his sextant. Smedley decided to show up and bring our heroes to a tree with a poster. A poster advertising revolutionary thoughts and tendencies. They quickly tore it down lest people think they were a politician during the election year. That is when the party, except for Fleegan, who was admiring the cheap nails holding up the poster, noticed that a member of the troupe was losing his money purse to a very pretty girl.
He was pretty too.
Yeah, if you're in
At least to some, or one.
Mm.
Once again, Kenna was fleet of foot, or her feet were fleeting, I'm not sure which, and was able to tackle the thief. In exchange for the thief's freedom, she gave Kenna the money back and a ring. Promise ring, maybe?
Something like that.
Upon returning to Tevrin, the money, a reward was given, and maybe a crush for Kenna as well.
I hope that bruise on your jaw doesn't show up anytime soon.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to look real good tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Yes. God, that page, guys. This is awful. Oh, there it is. No. All right. I missed the best part with the sexton. So, to back up a little bit, we were approached by a blue skinned Maroon? Is that how you pronounce it?
Maroon, yeah.
Who gave Kimber a package to keep safe.
And he turned into a maroon.
Yeah, I think he, yeah, we talk about packages there. All right, well, let's jump on to the...
All right, I'm almost done. The last task that the merry band... Thanks, Tanya. The last task the merry band was given by Frisha, who told them a plot to kill 2 priests. Long story short, they were douchebags, but they were saved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we moved on from that with a bit of discussion, as it were.
Mostly on the disgust.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that. You guys came back around to the wrestling field and watched Borag very expertly take down a couple of Carnivalle goers and claim his prize there. And that's where we finished up for the evening. So that masterful retelling, Mr. Fleegan, earned you the opportunity to get a reward. Roll on the Gooey reward table for me, please. All right. Advantage on an initiative roll.
The last thing I need is an advantage on initiative roll.
Well, who knows? With the fact that you walk into a room with a giant spider and get eaten right off the bat, maybe you do need that next time. Or when somebody tries to pick up and throw the gnome.
Touche.
Yeah. Well, good job. All right, everybody, give me a D20, please. Let's see what we get. Roll the dice. What do we have tonight? 11, 6. Lag. Let's get those low rolls out of the way, everybody. Get them out of the way. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. And we're going to see if the Equinox is still in full tilt tonight with how it's been the last couple of times. But no other Gooey rewards tonight, my friends, so we will move on. So thank you for that, Fleegan. Appreciate that. So tonight, my friends, you have just seen Borag expertly defeat a couple of individuals in the ring, and payouts are going for them to give to the crowd who betted for and against him. Some people are cheering, some people are upset. They were for sure that he was going to get taken down, and he turned the tables on them. And in her excitement, Kalnassi, Theros' mother, standing right next to him, punches him in the arm and says, "Hey, what do you think about that, son?"
Dad always has it in him, doesn't he, Mom?
Oh, you know him. So he tells me you guys had a bit of a adventure earlier today. And it sounds like you're no worse for wear.
We had fun. We had quite a bit of fun. And found a little bit of cha-ching for the troop.
Cha-ching. Yes. We always need that cha-ching.
By the way, did we ever get told how much we got of that? What our cut was?
I think we will figure that out eventually. But
Okay.
I'm not quite sure on that. So
Cool.
we'll figure that out moving forward here. But yes. So
You should have seen it, Mother. I used Graxels so well. I smashed several big spiders with it, including one that was a brood queen.
Wow. So tell me, did it work as well as you expected it to?
Even better.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool. Wow.
So are you going to get in the ring, Mother? As I know you love to do.
Oh, coming up here shortly, yes. We're letting them take a breather, and I think over there, here they come now. And you see a couple of burly townsfolk. One who's almost as big as your mother there, and another one who seems a bit wiry, but somebody who might want to look not second guess, considering he might have a bit of dexterous moves to him. Kind of come over and they start talking a little smack, and they say, "Ha! So she says that she can take down the two of us in 3 moves, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody of that stature even come close to being able to handle my brother over here, Thorn. But what say you, friend? You think you could spare a little bit of gold to maybe a little side bet?" And he's looking at Gror over there.
Oh, it's bad enough you're going to be hurt. Do you want to lose your money too?
Put your money where your mouth is, small man. Couple golds right here. Couple golds on us. What do you think? He turns over and
there's no more sure money grower than that.
Why a couple? Why are you so short with the money? How about 5?
Well, we know you Shazat don't have the money on you, so I bet you don't even have 2 to your name. You tell me. You want to bet 5?
I have enough for 5, yes.
Huh. He's going to bet his month's worth of wages, he says over to his big friend. His big friend says, Oh.
How about,
Actually, I got all this money from your mother, but...
Oh. He kind of sizes you up, looks you down, and says, "How about you get in the ring, friend?" And Kalnesi says, Whoa. Here. No, we've already made an agreement. We're going to take care of this. So we'll get in with that. But a little side bet? Gore, I have faith. I think we can do this. And they kind of chuckle and laugh. One looks over at Fleegan and says, Hey, short man, what do you think? You think that it's a fair bet?
No, I think you're going to lose.
Yeah, those cocky Shazat. Well, we're going to go over and kind of stretch and limber up a little bit here and get ready to work ourselves a bit of an appetite that we're going to spend all the winnings we have once we're finished with Green Lady here. She's going to go down faster than you could say jump in a lake.
Mother, do you want me to go get some beverages for them as a pre-test drink for them? Or do you think you got this?
Oh, no, I got this. Don't worry about that. She kind of whispers in your ear, and she gives you that knowing wink that she always has when you guys are discussing tactics, knowing that you're going to be a strong man someday and probably take over the wrestling pits when it comes your time.
Kenna will keep an eye on the two of them and make sure they don't have any poison or brass knuckles they're not supposed to have or anything like that.
Give me a perception check, please.
You bet.
All right. You don't see that they have anything that could potentially sway the match one way or the other.
Okay.
Looks like time's up. Borag comes out of the ring, and Kalnasi heads over in there to hang out. And he kind of ushers you all over around him to kind of watch from this area as the rest of the crowd places their bets and everything's gathered. And he goes ahead and rings the gong as the match begins. And right off the bat, the slim, wiry fellow jumps over and tries to go for her foot. And just as he gets there, she's a lot more nimble than her visage would show. She's very large for a woman and pretty muscular, but people would think she's slow, but she's not. So she steps out of the way just at the very last second, which surprises most of the crowd because he kind of did it in such a way to where it was almost a feint, and you would expect that she wouldn't have known that was coming. And then trying to take advantage of the distraction, the big man wraps his burly arm right around her armpit, right underneath her shoulder, and grabs a hold of her right off the bat. Surprising to him, though, maybe she was expecting it, who knows, because even though he got wrapped around underneath her armpit, she flips around over his back, kind of doing a roll over the top of his back, and immediately turns the tide of the grapple against him, and is able to flip his grab around him and push him to the ground at this point, as the other guy kind of rolls through the dust and gets back up, and a little bit embarrassed from the oohs and ahs of the crowd, tries to jump on her back while she's pushing down on the big man on the ground. Kimber, do me a favor. Tell me what you see. What does she do next? Narrate this a bit.
Well,
Didn't think I'd put you on the spot there.
I
Huh?
did not. Oh, well,
Okay.
mom kicks butt.
So yeah, she turns around and she kicks some tail right off the bat, and pretty easily puts them down to finish round one simultaneously, and everybody's kind of grunting and groaning. Well, this was a round of 3, and I think the bet was that she would take him down in 2. Was that not correct?
I thought it was
Something like
3.
that. Was it 3? Okay.
That was 3.
It was 3. Okay, so round of 5 takes him down in 3. Yeah. Okay, so everybody kind of goes to their area. She comes over, gives you all a big smile, and gets ready to go back into the ring. Well, everybody give me a perception check there, please. Kenna, give me a perception with advantage.
Woohoo, that's 23 for me.
I see that, yeah. So Kimber seems to think that he sees a short blue female walk somewhere out into the crowd and gets distracted. Theros is quite knowledgeable about how things are supposed to work in these things, and so he's got a pretty good idea that something's not quite right. But Kenna had already mentioned that she was going to keep her eyes on the others to see what they're doing, and they during their break, they actually must have put something in their towel that they rubbed on their hands. And what do you do about that?
What do you got there? What is going on? What are you putting on that towel? What are you rubbing on your hands?
Well, Kenna
I'll,
saw that.
come on.
Theros just knew something wasn't
Okay.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Kenna saw it.
I'll walk up behind them without, and be like, "What is that, gentlemen? Cheating already?"
Like you, Shazak, don't do that yourself.
Oh, we
I
don't.
mean, would just even the match here a little bit. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought, but somebody tipped her off earlier, because there's no way she could have done what she did.
I've seen her do it 100 times. And if you continue in this course, I'll hamstring both of you right now so that you cannot complete the match.
They very boisterously kind of look at you and laugh a little bit and say, "What are you going to do about it, man?" And Kalnassi kind of comes. She sees what's going on. She's like, "Dear Kenna, no, I love you much as a daughter, my Zatius. Let's just let them do their thing." And this is all kind of kept in the quiet a little bit. I think the crowd's not really aware of what's going on.
Mhm.
But she seems to feel that she's confident enough to be able to handle this. So
Of course.
they go over. You kind of stare them down a little bit, and they're like, "Okay, whatever." So they go over and they grab the towel and they kind of wipe their hands off on the towel a little bit. Ostensibly trying to wipe the whatever it is that they potentially got on their hands before. So,
Yeah.
okay, so they start out on Kalnassi's in the middle. They start, yeah.
Fleegan would like to go to the beer tent and get some of the cheapest beer possible to bring back for these sore losers.
Okay,
While this is happening.
that's actually right over here. So, yeah, you're gonna go over to Stoof's tent. That's the tent of warm feelings, actually. That's I think the opening's up there. So you're gonna go get some beer, okay? All right. While you're doing that, the combatants, they start on either side of the ring there, and Kanasi kind of looks around at them, and the big man kind of all of a sudden gets down into kind of a low stance and then just springs right at her. And while he does that, and she's kind of intently watching him, the other acts as if he's going to run around the perimeter of the ring, and at the last moment, as he begins to head one direction, he kind of pushes himself in a leap farther than you would expect a typical individual to go, right at her. So they're both kind of rushing her or leaping at her at the same time. And she's able to push one strong hand out towards the big man as he comes. But the guy who's leaping on her, she really has no recourse against that. And he's able to kind of take her quickly to the ground while she's trying to hold the big man at bay. And maybe put Theros on the spot. What do you see her do at this moment?
So she's gone to the ground?
She has gone to the ground, yes. But she's holding the big man at bay.
But she's lost this round then?
He has not pinned her yet.
Okay, so she's not pinned. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm clear. So she, in very much disgust of realizing that her right arm was not able to deflect the skinny man, she goes ahead and grapples him around the neck and pulls him into her chest and holds him on the ground as she is pulling the strong man, the thicker, heavier set man, over and rolls on top of this man with both the skinny man and herself. At which point she takes her right arm and put on his throat and pushes him to the ground and pins them both with one arm in each.
A mighty roar erupts from the crowd as she immediately turns the tables on them in spectacular fashion. Theros, you jump in the air, pumping your fists in the air, so excited to see your mom do what you knew she could and has done to you and your sister in the past as you've tried a very similar move.
Very often.
So, and the bell rings and they retreat back to their corners. You notice that your mom is limping a little bit there, Theros. Something got twisted in her leg while she tried to make that move to get the other guy to the ground. And she's kind of grimacing a little bit there.
Mom, do you need anything? You need to bind that up a little bit?
Oh,
okay?
you know me. I've had worse. I mean, I don't know. We got one more round here. But, it smarts a bit. Yes, it does. All right. Fleegan, you return with some drinks?
Yes, to give these poor fellas something to drink to cry in when they lose.
Okay. Did you doctor him up at all? Did you do anything to him?
No, I'm just waiting for him to lose so I can give them something.
Okay. Something to wallow their sorrow as they do that. All right.
Nice.
So Theros goes, excellent, my friends. This is good. This is good show. So, Kalnassi, my dear, shall we show them a good time? And she kind of winks at him. Let's heighten the trauma a bit, shall we not? And she says, Hi, dear. Let's see what happens. And so, at this point, he goes over and everybody's ready. He rings the bell and she goes in for round 3. Kenna?
Yes.
How do the combatants approach her this time?
a little more cautiously this time. They're spreading out and trying to get a flanking position on her to keep her pinned towards one of the ropes of the wrestling field, but making sure that they have her flanked so they have an advantage.
Okay, and as they do that, you notice that she's kind of looking around, trying to analyze the situation. And Theros tries to speak up to give her a little bit of advice, and she gives him that motherly look that says, "Shut your trap." With that, you start hearing the clinking of coins and such as some side bets actually start going on, because a lot of people are noticing that the momentum has shifted highly in the Hanataza's favor at this point. And so I think people are trying to get out while they can, not lose their money. So there's some other bets going on. Gror, what do you think happens in this round? Can you describe it?
I think they're going to take another clumsy tandem attack, but this time she's going to sidestep and let them bang their heads together, and then she quickly rolls them both on their backs and pins them. She's acting the whole time and never really limping, but she's truly a show woman.
Yes,
Nice.
That is exactly right.
Yes.
Do not have inspiration. Take inspiration for that one, because that is a wonderful conclusion to the 3 up, 3 down, we win, you lose round. And perfect, my friends. And she takes them down, and everybody cheers. Fleegan, how do you approach them?
Oh, guys, I know this is hard. Here, have something to drink to help ease the pain.
The big man grabs one of the goblets and takes it and just kind of shoves it up into his face and just starts gulping on it. And part of it's running past his lips and running down the side of his face as he's just panting with all his might, because it's pretty warm in the afternoon sun, even though it's middle of winter. But he takes that. The other one is disgusted, and in his disgust, he just says, "You filthy Shazat." And he just knocks that drink out of your hand, and it hits the ground and spills, and he goes storming off as he throws the 5 golds at your feet.
You see what your friend did? It wasted perfectly good liqueurs. We worked hard on that. I'm just giving you some. What are you gonna do?
What are you going to do? Yeah, so by the way, Stoof, you went over, and when you visited Stoof over in his tent, you told him what you needed the beer for and the drink for, and he gave that to you on the house, obviously. And
Make sure it was the cheap stuff, though.
Yeah. Add 5 more golds to your coffers there, friends. And that's that you can keep. So each one of you would get those when you're doing the calculations there. That's not something that you have to pool together when you win on betting. So, all right. Well, after that's over, Kalnassi goes over, kind of wipes the sweat off of her face a little bit, kind of smiles, goes back over and just gives a nice big punch in the arm of Theros again. That's kind of her. That's her affectionate, motherly hug that he gives to her son, who's actually taller than she is, even though she's 6'8" or something like that. And they have a good laugh about that. Morag, oh my Zatis. Oh, what fun. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your interactions here, my young folk. So, I ask, how is your task going with Carnivalle so far? Any troubles beyond the crazy bear and the spider situation from earlier?
I got punched in the face by a brute.
Well, that happens. Was it big?
Yes, but he fell pretty hard.
The other fell to the dwarven sleeper hold, of course.
Yes. Oh, Roar, I have seen you make that move before. I I have seen you do that before.
The fine
Quimber.
art of choking people.
Hey, Quimber,
yes.
why don't we show the special package to my father? It may interest. I'll do that off to the side.
Yes, of course. I get to give it back to her when she returns, correct?
Yes, of course. Father, mother, we have something that was given to us. Quimber, show mom and dad.
Yeah, so this beautiful blue woman I've never seen the like of approached me and paid us to watch her things. Look at these marvelous things, and I unwrap and show them.
Yeah, you were watching her things, all right.
Borag lets out a long whistle, low whistle. Whoa, that could pull a pretty penny. She gave them to you?
He says that I wrap them up in fear that he's speaking the truth, although I do understand he just did, so I'm a bit confused with that. I wrap them up and I say, no, it is strange, but I guess she was taken by me. Says it doesn't happen very often, where I kind of keep behind my brothers. Perhaps she sees something in me I don't see even in myself. How do you think I should handle it?
What's that?
How do you think I should handle it when she returns?
Kalnassi kind of analyzes it, thinks a little bit, and then says,
She was my rune.
Shut up, brother.
I'm just saying what race she was.
Did she happen to have any recognizable markings about her or anything that would show where she might have come from?
She had an eye patch and
an
talked like
anchor.
a sailor.
Yes, a beautiful tattoo of an anchor. Straps.
Well, as Moirun usually are, probably a sailing folk, one or the other, and obviously the items that she passed off on you show that she is of the mariner type. I would not want to put us in a position where somebody think we may have stolen something, so I guess I would say just keep it hidden. Keep it secret, keep it safe, and we will speak no more of this unless something comes about from it. But we are packing up and leaving tomorrow, so...
I was going to say, if she doesn't come back to get them before tomorrow, then not our fault.
Yeah, not our fault at all, so we shall see.
Maybe she'll come visit you tonight.
I definitely give him a nice nudge.
Well, Borag, he says, well, all that being said, all right. I think I have an idea here. How about time for a short break from your guard duties? What do you think?
I could let my jaw rest a bit.
Okay. Well, good. That would be a good idea. So if you're up for it, there are several townies over here that are looking for a match of tug of war, and between Kalnassi and I, that doesn't make enough to make it happen. But I got 5 of you here for a little tug of war match.
Gladly. I always love tug of war.
They are willing to wager, and if we win, we get 30 golds out of it. Seeing as what has happened here before, I think you could beat them. I'm sure of it. What do you think?
Let us do it.
I'll be in front.
All right. Well, they sounds like you guys are interested to do it. So he says an affirmative. Hey, Zat. Well, let's get to everything set up. Go ahead and get yourself set up in line, and we'll we'll gather up the townies here and see what they're made of, shall we not?
Let us do so, Father.
All right. So, go ahead and arrange yourselves in line from top to bottom. Who's first, second, third, fourth, and then anchor, please.
So it's the 5 of us? Or
5 of you, yes.
I think Gror or
Gorg and
Theros should
Kalnassi
be
are
our...
gonna stand off to the side.
I think Theros or Gror should be our anchor.
This is what should I do with these items? I can't risk damaging them in a tug of war.
then give them to my mother.
Yeah, Kalnassi offers to go ahead and hold on to them for you, and she promises she'll give them back, and you believe her.
Of course I do.
I'll be in front.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and left to right, front to back then. So Fleegan and then Kenna. Where would you position yourself in the...
I'll let Theros be anchor and go right in front of him.
Okay.
So move Kimber over. There we go.
Okay. And then Gror right behind Kimber there, and then Theros. Okay. All right. Let me grab a couple of things here. We're doing that. All right. While you guys are getting yourselves ready, a mangy group of 5 townspeople come over and start doing a little smack talk with you as they're getting ready to line up as well. What kind of smack talk do you guys have with them?
Are you guys afraid of these guns?
There's a big one named Gruber the Fatty who's going to be their anchor there, and he looks at you and laughs and says, "Hey, Tattoo Face, how about these guns?" And he flexes one of his biceps, and it's probably about 3 times the size of yours there.
Big
I
around
shall
is his
respond with intimidation and my biceps and a full bodybuilder flex.
Okay.
And I'm
Give
going
me
to
a
start imitating
intimidation
him.
check, please.
waist. Fleegan's imitating him. Great.
Fleegan's imitating him. Yes.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's
Mini
impressive.
me.
It's impressive,
Okay.
Fleegan.
So intimidation there. Well, you see him kind of take a pause, and as you see, as he watches you start your gun show, and but then he sees Fleegan trying to make echo what you're doing, and that kind of solidifies his resolve, and he just kind of gets a big grin, a big toothy grin where he's missing a couple of teeth, and just kind of laughs at you. Tiandra is the name of a dwarven female who matches up. So Grober matches up in the anchor position against Theros. Tiandra is a dwarven female who looks quite stout, matches up in the position across from Gror, and
How
kind of
long's her
looks...
beard?
It's pretty nice, and she kind of sizes you up a little bit and gives you a little bit of a sideways glance and maybe even a flirty wink.
Or smiles at her and he says, "Well met there, beautiful Tiandra.
She goes,
I heard
well,
them say your name.
yes," and she says,
I have my eye on you."
"Oh, yes, we shall see, and maybe if you go in the mud, I go in the mud too." Yes. So then, Durgal is a burly dwarven male who matches himself up in the position across from the front of the rope from Fleegan. He's not as big as the dwarven female, but looks to be rather strong, actually very strong. So He doesn't really say a word. He just kind of looks directly at Fleegan.
Seductively?
No. Just kind of gives him a stare down.
I'm going to blow raspberries at him.
Okay. He doesn't even break. He just stares at you. Though there's a number of other looks on who kind of chuckle a little bit out of that. And then there's Turd. We'll call him Turd, not Turd, but Turd. Looks to be a simple farmer, matches himself across from Kenna. Doesn't
I will go into a full split and arch my back, touching my hands to the ground, and then roll all the way up onto my hands and then back to my feet.
okay.
Crack my neck.
Nice. Go ahead and well, hang on. Yeah, go ahead and give a persuasion check, please. Yeah. He, as you do that, he apparently, as he's matched up with you, and you go to make that move, he actually turns and looks away just as you start to do that. So he doesn't even see anything that you do. Backing up a bit, Gror, go ahead and give me a persuasion. Gror, give me a persuasion check there. Yeah.
And to shake.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think exactly how the things went with that. I think there was a little bit of spark that got ignited there between you and her. And
Kendra?
No, between Gror and what was her name again? The other dwarf. Yeah.
Tiandra.
Tiandra, yes. Tiandra. So it seemed as if you recognized a spark. Now, whether you intended that to be there or not, there was something there. All right.
I did,
And
but
then-
I also thought Kendra's move was pretty impressive. The splits to the Valdez. It had an effect on Gror. Gror tightens his belt.
Well, we shall have fun with that, shall we? But that is a tale in the telling.
Oh my!
Yes. Oh my. And then there's Gila, number 5, matches herself up versus Kimber. So Healer. One could be forgiven for thinking that this big woman with buck teeth, simple clothes, and hair in a tight bun was a lowly rancher's wife. Just kind of looking at who she is, but she kind of carries about her more of a sophisticated air. And seems to speak quite eloquently as she looks at Kimber and says, "Well, it seems as if you and I have the opportunity to combat, and I think this seems to be fairly well matched up. So let's see what happens here, shall we not?"
Get her wide-eyed, say, bow to her, say, "Yes, my lady, may it be well matched, and may the best man or woman win."
Okay. Give me a performance check, please.
Whatever you are.
Right. She just kind of smiles at you and bows somewhat respectfully as she takes her place in the middle of the rope on the other side across from you. And then Theros, you had your kind of sparring words and your gun show with the big man already, so that worked itself out. So this is how this is going to work. We're going to do a series of checks in a tug-of-war battle. Okay.
All right.
And find this real quick. I would like Fleegan, we're going to start. You are going to do a athletics check versus your opponent's athletics check. And depending on how the opposing athletics check fall, depends on whether or not your side or the other side is off balance. Okay? So we're going to start here, and Fleegan is matched up against...
Nice one, Fleegan.
Durgle. Fleegan is matched up against Durgle. Yes, he is. All right. And he is going to make a athletics check.
I got a 19.
All right.
He got a 4.
So as you guys begin to pull, Fleegan, maybe just right off the bat, is so dexterous that he gets a split-second advantage and jumps on that rope and pulls. And before Durgle really has the chance to grab that rope, and it seems to slide some through his hand. So next up is Kenna, and you are up against... I got notifications popping up in my way. I'm trying to find something. So the farmer... tiered the farmer. Yep, so we got the athletics. All right, so tiered against Kenna. So Kenna, give me athletics.
Yes.
All right, that's Arcana.
Oh, dang
All right,
Dang
what's your bonus on athletics?
it. 1.
A 1, so that's going to be
A 12.
That's going to be a 12. Okay.
Yeah.
So with the 12 there,
I got all excited.
yes, you go to pull, and you were just slightly distracted by you saw what happened between Fleegan and his combatant, and it seems as if you don't get the pull like you wanted to. So now we come to Kimber against Helna. Go ahead and Kimber, give your roll, and we'll have Gila give a roll. All
yes.
right.
Dang, Kimber.
Kimber, the strapping young man, pulls hard, and it looks as if right now the advantage is moving in your all's favor. So we move farther back into the line. Goror's going to go against the female Tiandra.
The blue female may be watching me. I need to impress her.
Pirate boobies will win.
All right.
Don't talk about her like that.
Okay, we're going to take the first roll, not the subsequent 5.
I don't know how I did that, but that was pretty sweet, huh?
He tugs, and she tugs harder, and he tugs and tugs and tugs, and it doesn't.
The second one's pretty awesome.
The second one would have been amazing.
But a split second before you have the opportunity to lay into it, she seems to pull the rope back towards your way. So I think we're even at this point. So it comes down to the anchors then.
Oh,
See?
All right.
Didn't you roll it twice too and get a 14 first?
No, that was another combatant.
Okay.
So the Theros goes to pull against Gruber the Fatty, as the Fatty goes in there and takes a mighty pull.
Nice.
Not that mighty.
He slips in the mud, just pulls on the rope, and all of the other combatants turn around and look at him as the rope kind of pulls, and they hold on for dear life, but the advantage goes directly back towards you all, and you guys have the advantage at this point. So they're able to hold pat, and you haven't pulled them across the line, but you definitely have the advantage. Well done. So,
Nice
now,
gun, sir, Fatty.
all right. So go ahead and give yourself some smack talk across the line while I check something here.
yes, brothers. Pull.
Oh, pull that beautiful dwarven lass over to me.
We got him on the ropes now, boys. Anchor.
All right.
I
Could
think
never
that's
use-
Or Fleegan.
the plan.
Could never use the fatty as an anchor. He's too fat. He'd float.
I think they dropped anchor.
Always about the
He's
anchors.
the pirate hooker's boat anchor. I don't know.
All right. Well, you guys yell out insults, friendly jabs as they're struggling. They're trying to pull back. They're not responding other than with grunts, and you see a little bit of sweat beating on their foreheads because they don't want to lose this money. And they're ready to pull back hard. So it's time once again to make our checks. So Fleegan, go ahead and make your check against Durgal. All right,
Nice.
and Fleegan once again is able to outwit or strength his opponent. So next we go to
How you hold the rope.
Kenna versus Tiered.
Cheered. Really, Casey? Really?
A 20
So-
and a 1.
Tiered, the simple farmer has much more strength than is expected because of the time that he has out in his fields, and he is not swayed by the physical beauty and prowess of Kenna, and he pulls and makes it just that much more difficult for your side to take the advantage at this point. So next we have Kimber, who's trying to impress that woman who may be out there in that crowd. We shall see. Shall we not? And so he's up against Gila, correct? So
Yes.
Gila is going to take a pull on the rope as Kimber takes a pull on the rope.
Kimber!
Whoa! Kimber's pulling this
Kimber
one.
is down. He wants to make an impression, and he surely does as he pulls that rope taut. And any sort of momentum that was picked up by the man on the other end, or the woman on the other, or the farmer on the other end, and is
lady.
lost at this point. So, well, you're against the lady, but there was the natural 20 on the man on the farmer before that.
Yeah.
So he kind of made up some. He kind of gathered some momentum, and you nullified that momentum right off the bat, pulled it right on back. So now we go to Gror against Tiandra, and Tiandra is she's making eyes at you, trying to distract you. So go ahead and give me okay, there's your athletics roll. Go ahead and give me a
Take the first one again.
give me a charisma saving throw, please. Gror. Okay. All right. So she makes eyes at you, trying to distract you with her flowing beard as she kind of shakes it around and does a seductive move as she pulls. We'll see how she pulls here real quick. She pulls hard, but she doesn't pull hard enough, and seeing as her wily charms don't affect you, that does not take the disadvantage on you, so therefore you beat her. So, Theros, it's up to you to bring it home. Advantage is definitely yours. Just don't fail spectacularly, and we have a feeling that we know who the winners are going to be, but Gruber is going to pull just in case. And he is just not with it today.
He is
Higher
off.
than last one, though.
So with all of that, you guys grab that rope and you pull it back with all of your might, and you guys drag them across the line. So you pull them off balance with the first round, and then through your abilities, even though there was some strong competition on the other side, you drag them across the line. There's cheers and moans from the crowds and the lookers on as Borag, oh my Zatus, wonderful. Wonderful. So great to see. So great to see. And he walks on over to you. And he says, good job. Good job. And Kalnassi comes on up to you and says, chuckling, as she looks at the heap of the locals in a pile there in the mud in the middle. She again gives you all kind of a lightly, well, for her, punch and pat on the back and the arm and praises your accomplishments, congratulating you. And she says, "Ha ha! Well, we have the mark of some future strong folk here. Glad you showed them we're always a force to be reckoned with." And Borak says,
as I whisper to her, I don't think I helped much in that.
It's all because of these guns right here, boys. That's right.
She gives you a knowing smile. She pats Fliegen on.
I think our new friends need a drink.
Yeah.
Glor walks over to Tiandra to pick her up off the ground.
Yeah, she gladly takes your hand as you pull her up off the ground, and she actually, and you recognize this, she doesn't quote unquote trip, although she feints a little bit of trip and falls into your arms, and kind of wraps her arms around you and gives a little bit of a slide of her hands down your back and presses up against you a little bit as she pulls away and gives you a wink.
Or smiles wryly and says, "Ah, yet another has fallen into my arms, but you shall be the last, perhaps."
She swoons a little bit and says, "Oh, I'll be here late into the night. Maybe we shall have the opportunity to see each other again later on as the sun soul takes a turn around the world."
I'll say to Theros, I hope he checks his money per pouch to see if he still has it.
Yeah.
That's
Go ahead and
Kenneth's
give me-
apartment.
Moments and my coins in my purse as well now.
Huge, yeah. Fliegen, give me a perception check, just because you were potentially looking for that. And as you're doing that, Boros says, "Good job, you. Now go put those muscles of yours to good use and get back to your duty and keep all those townies out of trouble." Fliegen, you don't see if she does anything with any of his belongings at this point.
Gror, and when Gror counts them, does he notice that anything is missing now?
No, there's nothing missing. Nothing missing. That's a good question.
That would have hurt Gror's feelings, thank goodness.
So yes. So as you're kind of wrapping things up, and Borak gives you his admonition for a job well done, he says, "Oh, and I was just thinking of something as I was watching all you strong young Zatis doing your thing." He says, "Might be my imagination, but I was just realizing that Cray's been a little edgy lately. He seems not to be sleeping at all, and he's always walking around the camp as if he's looking for something, or maybe more like he's worried about something. I'm a little worried about him. Maybe you should check on him at some point in the not too distant future this afternoon for me, if you could, please."
Of course, Borak.
Thank you. Yes. So, and he smiles at all of you again and goes over to kind of help take care of the payouts and make sure everybody gets what they need. So, I ask you all at this point, you're in Carnivalle. Your job is to do rounds as you kind of work your way around the camp. And really, it's kind of up to you at this point. Where and what would you all like to do? Where would you like to go?
I'll run and grab my package. Make sure I have that.
Yes. Yes, that's right. She got that back to you. Thank you for reminding me about
Yeah,
that.
you have to run to grab your package?
Oh, man.
My wife was listening on earlier. What is this men talking about? That maybe actually heard on the...
A little bit.
What do we have to do with the money that we're holding before we, turn it in and so forth?
You just kind of hold on to it. As far as the winnings, they collected the winnings at this point for that tug of war. So you guys didn't get the 30 golds. The 30 golds went to the troop in the winnings.
We're keeping the 5
Very
gold from the
nice.
wrestling bet.
Yes, you
And
keep
the 5
that.
electrum that we got earlier from the 5 electrum, I think were from
Yeah, we split
Yeah.
those. That was from what's his name, the
Happy.
gambler. Yeah.
Yeah, those were rewards, just kind of tips. That was a tip. That
So
you
we
got,
all
so
have
you
1
keep
gold
those.
and 1 electrum each, basically, right now.
Yeah,
Well,
and
some of
then,
us have been
Might
holding
start
on to
betting.
ours.
yeah,
Some of
and
us have
then,
been holding on to ours. So
yeah.
Kimber's
And
been
then
holding
half
on
of
to his
the-
package for a while now.
And then half of whatever you guys had acquired before
Just
that
shake my
point
head.
Earlier. We'll have to calculate that out and
And
figure
it's
out what that
a
is.
surcharge for carrying it around, right?
Yeah. The package.
All right.
So I come back around to the roll. What? Where would you like to go? What do you think you want to?
So this
Well,
person that
since
he
we're
asked
on-
us to check on, who is that?
Pray.
Cray.
Cray the Blade.
Yeah, but Theros,
Oh,
you were saying something.
Oh, I want to check on Cray, but I want to make a half moon and go around since we're doing, perimeter duty and that such. Wanted to make a half circle around and come back to Cray, going counterclockwise across Sears 10 over to the stage in old oak and beasts, and then the illusionary tents, and then back over to the gambling tents, and then back to Cray.
Okay.
Was my
Okay.
plan. Make a
You're just
long,
gonna kind of work
long
your way
journey around.
Okay.
Yep.
Is everybody else in agreement with that?
Yeah, clockwise around the camp to the top where
Yeah,
'cause
clockwise,
he's
yes.
directly north of where we are. So
Why don't you just quickly draw on the map for me, kind of the route that you're wanting to take, Theros? I know you told me about that, but I just kind of want to see how you go.
Okay. You see it?
All right. Yep, I do see that. Yep. So you kind of go around that way.
maybe we should bounce down through Sellers Row just to make sure nobody's hassling any of the
Sure.
merchants.
We
merchants
can
that we
we
have
can
there.
take a path like
You
that.
guys want to do that now, or take it on your next route?
Yeah, we'll take it through there and then go around to, up to my father.
All right. Okay. Well, you guys head on down the direction towards Sellers Row, passing a long line of people standing outside the Sears Mother Salvence's tent, and she must be busy telling people's fortunes as you move on.
Always
past her tent.
is.
Always is, yes. That is a high-level attraction at the Carnivalle, even though it's quite interesting that, they would say that it's witchcraft on one voice, but they would come and see her to be interested to have their fortune told. And then as you head on down to Sellers Row, as you're heading on into Sellers Row there, something here. Go ahead and move all of your tokens down to Sellers Row, please. All right. And then... Okay, as you're heading that direction, Gror, give me a perception check, please. Okay. All right, thank you. And let's see here.
Look, a bird.
Where is she? Where's Deandra?
Find something here. All right. Sellers Row stands before you. Let me show a picture of it here to you. There is Sellers Row.
This is where my parents' wagon is?
Actually, no. Your parents' wagon was up where their
Okay.
tent was up where Fleegan went and got the beer.